Hello, welcome to Elizabeth Reads. We are on chapter 50, Sudden Death of Jemima Small versus the Universe. The studio lights dimmed and a spotlight fell on me. It was the maths round. 2 minutes to answer as many questions as you can. I dabbed my forehead with my blazer sleeve. I don't know why, but dimming the lights seemed to make it hotter. I'd watched people answer too quickly, forget part of the sums, take ages thinking so their time ran out. It's a sort of thing that happens when you haven't been brain trained by an ex-coach of the British Paralympic team. I glanced around the podiums. Zane had 40, Sophie 10, Alejandro said 25. There were 9 of us left. 4 of us with the lowest scores would be eliminated. I did a quick calculation in my head. I needed at least 30 points to stay in. That was 6 correct answers in 2 minutes. Didn't feel totally impossible. I did what Gina told me to do in brain training. I shook out my legs and arms, moved my head from side to side. She said it helps disperse the adrenaline in your body so your mind can focus. It made me look like I thought I was about to do a 100-meter sprint, not a maths round, but when you have to answer 6 questions correctly in 2 minutes, you'll try anything. Jemima, your time starts now. -50922. What comes next? I felt the tiniest smile creep onto my face because it was a quadratic sequence. I must have done a million of them in Miss Reed's class at primary school, occasionally as a punishment. 39. Correct. -4, 12, 38, 74. What comes next? 120. Correct. I didn't look at the timer or pay attention to Dexter's hair, which was starting to flop over slightly, or count the number of times he said correct. But when the klaxon sounded for the end of my time, I saw a Mickey-shaped silhouette jump in the air. Well done, Jemima, 55 points. Over the clapping, I heard a loud, "Allez, allez, Jemima!" I looked over to where Jasper was sitting, the only person in the world who would cheer me on in French. Well, maybe not the only person. If they had TVs on cruise liners, I didn't mean to smile at Jasper, but I did. When the studio lights came back on, Maggie told us to relax for a few minutes while she took the eliminated contestants to sit in the audience. A woman in a Brainiacs t-shirt brought us all some squash and banana-flavored biscuits. When the lights dimmed again, Dexter stared into the camera lens. Welcome back. Our 5 remaining contestants are about to be tested on some of the most difficult words in the English language. That's right, it's spelling sudden death. Ananya went up on her toes. Alejandro fiddled with the buttons on his blazer. Zane took a deep breath. Victoria looked up at the ceiling and prayed. I'm not sure what I looked like, maybe surprised, because it felt like there was an avalanche in my brain. The words from the Spell Like a Superstar Advanced Edition book that Dad had bought me were falling through my mind all at once. I hoped I could think straight enough to catch them. Dexter's teeth practically glowed in the spotlights. He could definitely get a job advertising toothpaste if he ever got sacked from Brainiacs. This is our penultimate round, Brainiacs. And remember, it's sudden death. Spell a word incorrectly and you could be eliminated. Jemima, we're starting with you. The word is thalassophobia. A heartbeat sounded loudly in my ears. At first, I thought it was a sound effect playing in the studio. But it wasn't. It was my heart. That warrior in there was reminding me of home, because Thalassa is Greek for sea. Thalassa was a goddess who had horns made out of crab claws and wore robes made of seaweed. Pretty unforgettable, really, like a lot of the goddesses I knew about. I closed my eyes and spelled. Correct, Dexter cried. Ananya, your word is phytoplankton. Ananya went up on her toes like a ballerina and spelled the word without hesitating. I smiled at her as Dexter said, correct. After the first set of words, Zane had spelled appoggiatura wrong and been eliminated. He got a huge round of applause and mouthed good luck to me as he left the stage. 4 of us were still in. Only 3 of us could go through to the final round. It all rested on my next word. Jemima, your word is archaeopteryx. There was a gasp from the audience. Maybe they hadn't watched Brainiacs before. The spellings always got harder as the rounds go on. Maybe they didn't know much about dinosaurs either, because the archaeopteryx was kind of important. It's not even that hard to spell. Not when your spelling book from Miss Reed had a dinosaur section. I closed my eyes and recited it, just like I had at home. Dexter shouted, correct! Only he said correct 3 times after that too, which meant we all had to spell again. I looked nervously out to the audience. Good luck, everyone. Jemima, your word is staphylococcus. There was another gasp from the audience. You have 2 minutes. But I didn't need 2 minutes. Not when I'd already spent the whole of one break time staring at Mr. Shaw's Bacterium and Viruses poster while he was lecturing me about breaking conical beakers. Staphylococcus are this type of bacteria that cluster together. I remember because they look like microscopic bunches of grapes. Correct! Aren't this year's contestants something else? Dexter joined in with the applause, and then the studio fell into silence. I closed my eyes. I didn't open them again until I heard the educators ring the bell. They ring it when someone gets a spelling wrong, which is how I knew Victoria had spelled rhinencephalon wrong, which meant I didn't need to spell any more words because there were 3 of us left. No one else would be eliminated. I'd made it through to the final round of Brainiacs, and that's called definitely not looking stupid on TV. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.